Hi everyone, I hope you guys are doing great. So I want to share something that just happened. I went out to grab some lunch, and while I was waiting for my food to get delivered and handed over to me, there were these two men sitting at the table right next to where I was sitting. Honestly, we maybe had a foot in between tables. So I was talking to my daughter. These two people finished eating, and then they engaged in a conversation, and it was hard not to hear. And then when I heard what they were talking about, of course, I was so curious. I actually wanted to intervene and ask questions, but of course I didn't do it. It would have been really rude. Um, it was kind of rude to hear, but at the same time, they were talking about work situations, and um, I was just, I was engaged in the conversation because I was trying to understand each other parts where they're coming from. So there was this boss, supervisor, maybe he was the owner of the place, and then there was this employee here. Okay, so you had, hold on. So you had like a supervisor. I'm just gonna pick different colors, and then the employee here. The supervisor was trying to figure out or was questioning in a very calm, with lots of patience, to this employee, how come you did not do the training that was given to you 5 weeks ago, which you were supposed to have done? Okay, this is mandatory for everyone in the company, and yet you failed to do it. And employee, um, what I heard was like it was very last minute when this person learned that the employee had not done what they're asking from the company. So this employee is trying to justify that the reason he didn't do the training was because there was no time. I don't have time. I'm busy, 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 busy. Okay? And this one is trying to say, well, let me understand how busy you are. So what could we have done differently so that you could have done the training? And it's giving him alternatives, right? And it's also asking the employee about what solutions do you propose. And this one is constantly just like talking about the problems, not bringing up any solutions, just the problems. I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. I can't do it. You don't understand, okay? If you only knew my day, how it was, how it is every day. So this one is losing the opportunity to then let me understand, help me understand, okay? Because we really need you to do these trainings, and I need to see how these fit into your schedule. Maybe we can delegate some of your work. Maybe we can take some time, during the week just for this, whatever it is. This one didn't have the right words, was playing the game. This one was playing the passive aggressive game. And, it was all about excuses and how difficult it is, and how basically was telling him, I don't care what you bring to the table, I'm just not going to do it. Okay. So it's not really about the time so much so as the attitude, about the willingness, the commitment to do something outside of his comfort zone, because then he started talking about, how, hey, there's other stuff that I would like to do and whatever, and I don't get to do those things and whatever. And so they were going around in circles, really getting nowhere. And while I was hearing this conversation, the first thing when they started talking that I heard was the why, the vision, the importance of why these trainings are important. was not communicated. It was imposed. Okay? And sometimes you do need to impose some rules. You need to impose certain things because this is what the company needs. And you are part of the company. However, you should have, you should bring it to the table in an environment when you can talk about it. The other thing is that before assigning all this work or this additional work, whether it was a lot or not a lot, whatever, um, this person is saying, you don't understand my work. You don't understand my work. Okay, you don't know how busy I am. So do you not? It didn't sound like he did. Like he knew what the day of this guy looks like. So it's like, okay, so maybe asking questions about where can you fit this into your schedule instead of imposing it. Okay, this is what you're doing. I don't care if you have to do it at 11 o'clock at night. That was part of the conversation, by the way. Not from this guy. This guy is saying, I end up my day at 11 o'clock and I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and something like that. So I think there was not a clear message. Not a clear message was shared. This one is looking for solutions, right, to remediate whatever's going on. He's very patient. Too much, as a matter of fact. I think at some point he should have said, this is what we're going to do because I need you to do this. And because companies need to stay clear messages, expectations, and where we're going. Hey, sometimes it needs to be that way. This person could be on board with it or not. Okay? Because this one was offering solutions, but this one was like turning down everything. Like, no, I'm busy. So this one could have raised his hand and said, I don't have time for this. Okay, can I talk to you? Instead of assuming a passive-aggressive behavior and attitude where then at the end of the day he just didn't do it and he's like, well, I didn't do it and, whatever. Basically, right? And this is a person who was not really there to have a conversation this one wanted. This one was trying to look for solutions. This one was just trying to look for excuses to get out of whatever this one was requesting. Okay? This one is not willing to change. This one needs this person to change. So I don't know where you at. Are you here or here? But definitely this one could have done a better job at communicating, and instead of like letting the conversation go this way, grasping, holding, okay, stopping, that craziness that was going on because they were getting nowhere fast. I was there like waiting like maybe 20 minutes and it was like my daughter was with me and she's like, oh my God, I wanted to say something. So are you like the difficult person who won't say anything, who, this one is trying to do something that is needed and you're just like making up tons of obstacles. You're not willing to be transparent. And at the end, it's like, well, I'm just going to do whatever. Okay? This is me. Take it or leave it. Or maybe you are the manager who's trying to communicate something. Or just like telling people what to do and not communicating anything beyond that. Not caring about the real capacity. Not caring about the priorities. Not caring about the person itself. Maybe you're this person. Maybe you don't have the right words. Maybe you have the right intention, but not the right words. Interesting what they were talking. This one said something like, this one asked something about like the initiative, right? And this one said, well, no, about motivation. This one has something about motivation. This one was like, does it not motivate you that we're moving, that we're trying to do other stuff and whatever? And this one is like, well, there's two kinds of motivation. You can have honey or vinegar. And he talked for a little bit about that. And then this one said, well, you know what? We started out with honey, but it's turning into vinegar. Okay. This one from the beginning started out with vinegar because I don't think he ever had the intention of taking the trainings. So, have you seen this scenario played out before? Are you the manager with not with the right words and just like skipping over processes and communication and not really good with managing difficult situations and some conflict and getting your people to do what they need to do? Are you the difficult employee who is not willing to change? Who is always looking for problems but never looking for solutions? Anyway, bye.